Hey everybody, Jed with Jed Demlow Productions coming to you for another Tutorial Tuesday video. I'm a little bit late this week. It's Tutorial Thursday, I guess, but what I want to do today is I just want to talk about a cool feature, and it's another one of these hidden features that you kind of have to look for, and if you don't know it's there and you've not used it, then you probably are pretty unaware of it, and that would be the track view. And so let's talk about that. If you go over here to these three little dots over here on the left-hand side of my screen, this is track visibility, okay? Now there's all different kinds of settings that we can have here, and let's go ahead and go through those. I'm going to go ahead and turn these off. Let's open it up, and the first one is show all tracks. Obviously, that's going to show all the tracks that you have active in your session right now. I'm going to go ahead and turn this mix down just a little bit. This is actually a production that I'm working for on a client called Steel Ivory. So, show all tracks. Now let's go to, let's talk about show selected tracks. So let's say, for instance, you have all of your drum tracks selected. So let's just say these are the drum tracks. Now, if we go and we click on Show Selected, it's only going to show those tracks. So that's a really quick way that you can just highlight, if you have 100 tracks in a session, these things can be really handy. If you have 100 tracks in a session and you just want to highlight, you want to look at 8 of them, and let's say they're drum tracks. You highlight them, you come down here, and you click on this little guy here and just show selected, and boom, that's all you're going to see. Okay, if we want to go back to show all, there's all of our tracks. If we want to go back and see just the ones that we're working on, very quickly we can have a clear slate to look at right here. Show tracks with events. Okay, that's going to be most of them, but let's take a look at what happened here. Let me go back to show all. Okay, now down here at the bottom, you can see that I have 5 tracks created, and let's just say that we were going to, record some guitar riffs on those tracks, but we haven't recorded anything on them yet. But we want to look at all of these other tracks that we have recorded, and we don't want to see anything that we have not actually recorded something on yet. So we could hit this show tracks with events, and boom, those 5 tracks go away because there was nothing on them. Show tracks with events under cursor. So let's talk about that. So let's stop the cursor right here if I can get my keyboard to wake up. I haven't touched it in a minute or two. So let's go ahead and move our cursor here. If I move the cursor here to the end where there's no tracks, there's nothing playing, and I come down here to show tracks with events under cursor, nothing. There's nothing there. So if I move it into a spot like here, and I do that again and say show tracks with events under cursor, there's quite a few tracks. So you can see like maybe just the tracks that are involved in your verse. For instance, if you have the tracks all chopped up, so that you're only seeing the parts, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, etc., then you can see things in this fashion, okay? So that could be kind of handy depending upon how you work. If you're one of those people that trims all your tracks, as you go, so that you only see blocks of, guitar riffs and so forth on a track, then you could move the cursor, like to the chorus, and you could see all those blocks of those guitar parts in your song, depending upon where the cursor is in the song. So that's kind of cool. Show tracks within events in loop range. Let's make this just for demonstration, because a whole bunch of tracks are going to show up there. Let's take it and make it really tiny at the very beginning of the song. And let's do that again now in loop range. Now see, there's only a few. There's only a few tracks. Now if you make that loop range a lot bigger and you do it again, then we're going to see a whole lot more tracks that would be within that loop range. Okay, so that's kind of cool. That might come in handy. show solo tracks. So if you're working on, parts, and let's say I wanted to hear all of my drum parts, and I want to hear these snaps, and I want to hear the bass, but I don't want to hear anything else. Now, once again, I don't have that many tracks here. I've got like maybe 30 tracks so far on this production. But what if your session has 200 tracks and you only want to hear these? Well, that's a lot of muting and stuff that if you don't, or not necessarily hear them, but you only want to see them. Okay. So if you come over here and you say show solo tracks, it cleans all that other stuff out of your way immediately. And now I can come down here to the track view, which most everybody probably already knows about. But down here, you can go to minimal, which is great. Overview is still pretty small and tiny. Let's say we just wanted to see them like medium. Okay. So now I can see more of those tracks because I have all of that other stuff. Now I can see them all. I have all that other stuff cleared out of my way. Well, what if I want to see all my tracks? Show all tracks. Boom. There they are. Well, those are really big. What if I want to be able to see them all on the screen? There we go. I can use my track overview right here and make it small enough so I can see them all. Now, if you want to get out of that solo state that we're in right now, just so you know, if you hold Option and click, it'll take you to just one, and click one more time and you get rid of all of those. Okay, that's a good way to get out of solo if you have a whole bunch of tracks soloed. Little tip there. So hide empty tracks. Okay, so if I click this, there's maybe one track here that doesn't have anything on it. Just a couple. There's two right here. And then there's these 5 riff tracks. Now watch what happens. Hide empty tracks. They went away. Okay, so these are all different scenarios and ways that you can view your session, which is really cool. And it can, master this kind of stuff because it can really save you time. Hide disabled tracks. Okay, so you can see there's a bunch of disabled tracks in here. So if we do that, those all go away. And now I just have tracks that are active. So that's pretty cool. I usually clean up my session and put things in folder tracks, folders when I'm not using them. But not everybody does that, Some people don't want to take the time to do that. They just want to keep rolling. But that stuff can be really, kind of junking up your session after a while. And if you don't want to see that stuff, this is a quick, easy way to do it. Let's go to let's do here, anytime that you do a visibility change, it says undo visibility change. So that's kind of cool. Let's do that. So we'll go here and let's see all of the tracks. Okay. Now if I go here and say undo visibility change, it's going to go back to the last scene or scenario that I was in. So if you're working back and forth, that can be a cool way to do that. The other thing that I want to show are these guys right over here. Okay, so for instance, let me just go ahead and turn these two off. This right here is instrument tracks. Okay, so you can see that it's not lit up right now, so I'm not going to see any of the MIDI tracks or instrument tracks that I have. But if I click it, there they are. There's a couple of drum tracks here. There's a contact track. You can see that those tracks are now there. If I don't want to see them, I can click on that and they go away again. Now, if I click on this folder, it says folder tracks. It will toggle the folder tracks on and off. For instance, I have these 5 tracks that are empty that I made, and I stuck them in a folder just for organizational purposes. Now I could click on that. I don't have to see it, or I can open it. Or if I just don't want it in there at all, I can unclick here, and then I don't have to look at it there anymore. So that's going to be about it for me today. I just wanted to go over those, track visibility options that are right down here in the lower left-hand corner, okay, of your session. So check it out and see how it can work for you. Leave your comments and questions, please, below. Please subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you use the visibility button here. What do you do with it? What works for you? And once again, my name is Jed Demlow. I am a country music producer in Nashville, Tennessee. I have an extensive top-lining track catalog available at jeddemlowproductions.com. So if you're a singer-songwriter that leans towards the country music genre, go check it out. I've got a bunch of singer-songwriter tracks there that you can download and write your lyrics to. So please check that out, and I will be talking to everybody again real soon. Everybody have a great day.